Good to have you here. So just in case you are wondering why my background is different today, I'm in a slightly different location, in a different part of the world, but hopefully that should not make a difference to the quality. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the sound okay?
Yes, it sounds fine.
All right, perfect. Great. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for a few more people to join. People generally tend to kind of stroll in, a little later than scheduled. But if it's okay, I'd like to get to know who's in the room. MB, can you tell me who you are and how did you get to find us?
Sorry, it's Mabel. I'm going to change my name.
Hi, Mabel. How are you? How are you? Good to have you here. Mabel and Layo. Hi, Layo. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Cool. So for this webinar, you were not the audience because you were already signed up and you are going to start as normal anyway. So you've probably heard this all before. And I think Jillian is joining us as well. So again, Jillian, you're going to join us in next week. That's next week, of course. So you are not the audience for this session, but I can use this opportunity to kind of get started and sort of welcoming you guys to the program and sort of getting to answer some of your questions and get you sort of mentally prepared for what I am expecting will be a very immersive, intense 3 months. I'm not scaring you, but it will be an intense 3 months. And I'm sure some of the guys that are wrapping up from the last batch will attest to that. Good morning, Jillian. How are you doing today? Hope everything's okay with you on your end. Hope you're good. Okay. We're just waiting for a few more people to join. So whilst we're waiting for a few people to join, Mabel, Layo, Jillian, how are you feeling about getting started next week? How are you feeling? What have you done so far? What study have you done? What resources have you consumed? Are you mentally ready? Talk to me.
Well,
I guess. Oh no, you can go.
Go for it, Layo.
Oh, I guess I feel ready. I've
Good.
definitely started going through the material already. So
Okay.
I think that when we start next week, I won't feel as overwhelmed. I'm glad that I've started and because that was your advice to at least get yourself familiar. So I'm glad that I'm doing that. So, and I've started kind of writing some questions down so that when we do start the course next week, like I'm not just starting from zero. I at least have some knowledge starting. So
Absolutely.
I feel ready. I know it's going to be very intense, but I guess it is what it is. So I feel good at the moment. Yeah.
Good. How about you, Mabel? How are you feeling? What have you done so far in terms of learning?
I don't think I've done much, to be honest. I have just been listening, watching the videos and the portal.
Okay.
In terms of actually researching and studying, no, I haven't been. I just want to take it slow. Yeah, it's going to be intense,
that's fine.
but I will also want to learn at my own pace as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing really.
That's
and
good. Watching the videos, definitely a good move. So you're slowing
and
down.
then with regards to if I'm ready or not, I don't know. I'm just going to get into it, and then
that's good. That's the spirit. Thank you so much. Hi, good morning, Mobology. How are you doing today? Tell me a little bit about you. How did you find us today?
Good morning. I got the link through a friend.
Okay, good. And what are your expectations from joining this session today? What are you expecting to get here?
I to learn more and see if I would be able to start the course.
Okay. All right. Good. Where are you based?
In London.
You're in London. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Good. And have you looked to transition into business analysis in the past, or is this absolutely brand new for you? Have you kind of been doing a little bit of research before?
This is brand new to me.
Okay. That's fine. You're in the right place. We'll try to take it slow. You too. So good to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hi, Tommy. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Could you please tell us a little bit about you? How did you get to find us today? You can type, you can talk if you wish. For now, as we're waiting for a couple more people to join. And whilst I'm waiting for Tommy to respond, hi, Julian. Hope you're doing okay. Have you started studying? Are you, have you watched a lot of the videos? Have you read a lot of the material? Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
Good. I've looked through a lot of material on LinkedIn as well,
Okay.
and YouTube. So hopefully between all the platforms, I have a good idea of what I'm getting myself into.
All right, good. Good to have you here. Good to know that you are ready to get started. Thank you so much. And hi, Timololo, good morning. Tell us a little bit about you. You can type into the chat. How did you find us? And what do you expect to get from this session? Okay, so I'm going to get started. I know a few people will trickle in, and a few people have already notified me that they are going to run late. So that's going to be perfectly okay. I am recording the session. Hope it's okay with everybody. And just to sort of set the format for today. So this next 2 hours is essentially going to be broken back down into 2 parts. The first part is simply learning about what business analysis is for somebody who's an absolute beginner. And the second part is walking through our programs and what the program is all about. So you could decide you just want to stay for the learning, or you can decide you want to stay for the full session, where in the second part, I'll talk about the courses that we offer and the program, and I can go into detail into how that program runs. So that's essentially what this morning will be about. For you guys that have already signed up and are registered and ready to go, it's fine for you guys to stay. It'll be a bit of a refresher for you. You've probably heard it all before. It might just be a session where you kind of mentally get yourself ready for it. And if you have any questions, of course, you can ask as well. And for you guys that are sort of joining new and here for the very first time, welcome. The format is simply a sort of first hour is simply a call it a tutorial session on what business analysis is. Very interactive. I'm going to be asking you questions, and I'm going to be asking you to respond by chatting into the chat here on Zoom. I'll read out responses where relevant, and I'll get you guys to contribute as well as I go along. And by the end of the session, my expected output is that you're more informed about business analysis, what it is and what it isn't, and you decide to join one of our business analysis programs in the future. So without further ado, let's get started. Morning, ladies, gentlemen, wherever you are anywhere in the world. My name is Tolu Fagbola, and I am going to be your facilitator for this session. My experience spans over, I'll say, 20 years in both training and development and in independent consulting, both as a training professional and as a business analyst in a variety of different industries, sectors, public sector, private sector. I've worked across multiple industries and organizations, I will say I started my career with a company called Coffin Warehouse back in 2000, and I think it was 2, when I was literally just finishing uni for the 3rd time. And it was from there that I sort of got into training and development and business analysis. And since then, I've carried both my identities simultaneously right through over the last 20 years. So whilst I work as a business analyst on lots and lots of different kinds of projects and organizations, I've also never stopped training and developing and coaching people, primarily in sort of the digital space more recently. So I'll say in the last 9 years, I've focused on delivering courses in business analysis, agile, and stuff like that. Prior to that, I delivered training courses, but in more generic subjects like coaching, leadership, and stuff like that. And then I sort of narrowed down to just business change. Not to say that I don't teach other courses aside business analysis. I do from time to time, but primarily I focus on teaching business analysis and agile these days. I also sort of work as a sort of consultant for a number of organizations going through digital transformation. Right now, I'm working for an organization who's implementing, they're going through a business transformation program, implementing CRM Dynamics across the enterprise. It's a multi-million-pound project over 3 years, and I lead a number of work streams within that program as well. Working for a Microsoft delivery partner as well, working on the graduate scheme implementation program. They have a sort of a managed services business model, and I help sort of deliver some of that as well. So I have a number of clients that I work with. Can you guys still hear me okay? Is the sound good? I just kind of had a sort of electricity fluctuation here for a second. Can you guys still hear me okay? I hope I didn't cut out.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, all right, perfect. So, so yeah, that's me in a nutshell. That's me in a nutshell. So I've introduced myself. What I want you guys to do real quick is to drop into the chat very quickly, your name, a little bit about you in terms of your background and your knowledge and experience of business analysis. So your name, your background, what you do at the moment. I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse, I'm a dental practitioner. We have a lot of these on these programs. So your background in terms of you, or I'm a student, I finished school, or I'm finishing my master's, whatever it is. So your name, your background, where you're located. I want to know where you are, wherever you are in the world. It really doesn't matter, but it's good to sort of know, where people are. So if you're in the UK, if you're in the US, if you're in Nigeria, which is where most people who come on our programs are, please let me know as well. And very quickly, what's your experience in business analysis? I've been learning, I'm already a BA, I'm a practitioner, I just want to do certifications, whatever it is. What's your experience of business analysis? If you can put that into the chat for me, that will be good, so I get to know you guys a little bit, so I know who I'm talking to. Okay, Jim is from Lagos, Timmy's admin officer, UK. All right, great. Administrative officer, lots of really good transferable skills there. I like that. Looking to transition into tech, you're an absolute newbie. That's good. You are absolutely welcome here. So thank you so much, Timmy. Thank you so much. Jill, hi Jill, welcome. Reading Resource Manager, Financial Services News to BA, and welcome to the program. I hope you are, I'm sure you have a immersive 3 months ahead. Thank you so much. Ross is here. Ross is here. All right, a few more people coming through. Okay, for those that have just got into the Zoom, we're just introducing ourselves. I've just introduced myself, highlights on the screen right now, and I've asked everybody to put the name, the background, what they currently do at the moment, and their experience in business analysis. You new? Are you a practitioner already? Have you just gonna be doing a lot of research and studying? So what's your experience of BA? Mobilogy Recruitment Executive UK, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. And Ben is just joining. Okay, so whilst you're still doing that, I want to ask you 2 questions. The first one is this: what type of business change initiatives, i.e. projects or programs, are currently running in your organization right now? What type of business change initiatives are currently running in your organization right now? What type of business change initiatives, i.e. projects and programs, are currently running in your organization right now? It could be a technology related project. It could be a non-technology related project. So it doesn't have to be a tech project. So what type of projects, i.e. Anything that has a start and an end, it is not your core day-to-day operations, and it brings about change into the way you do things within an organization. So what kind of projects or programs are currently running within your organization right now? It could be anything from we're implementing a new payment system, we're changing the way we're changing our payroll process, we're changing our recruitment process, we're moving offices to a more permanent location, we are implementing a customer relationship management system, we're implementing a document management system, whatever it is. What's the project that's happening in your organization right now? Thanks so much, Ben. Your QA, good. Looking for a career move. Well, this is a natural progression, I'll say. It's a natural move because of all the transferable skills you already have. So thank you for joining. Thank you for coming. Okay, project manager, currently in a career break, looking to transition to BA. I love it when project managers move to becoming BAs. A lot of the time I see BAs trying to become project managers and I'm thinking, why do you want to do that? So thanks so much, Kay. I love that. Thank you. So in the chat, real quickly, what types of business change initiatives are happening in your organization right now? Or if you're not working right now, the last organization you worked for, what type of business change initiatives are currently running there? It could be anything from non-IT projects to IT projects. It doesn't really matter what type of projects are currently running. And the reason I want you to write that down is because that's the basis upon which we do all the work that we do. That's the work, that's what we do. We implement and we ensure business change is effective. So if you know about the business change, then you're more likely to understand exactly what it is we as BAs do. Gillian says, we're currently looking to streamline our capacity allocation. Okay, thank you. All right, that's interesting. Capacity resource allocation sounds like a human capital project, like a HR project. That's an interesting one. It's good. Thank you so much. Any other types of projects or programs happening in your organization right now? Okay. And as you're writing that, also think about what skills do you think are required to deliver the business change effectively? What skills do you think are required to deliver the business change effectively? Okay. Kay says previous project was Brexit regulatory project, so aligning with EU well, regulatory project to align with EU exit. That's an interesting one. Can you tell me, Kate, which industry was this project in? Was it a retail? Was it a bank, financial services? Was it a financial services? Okay, that will be a huge, huge program. I know a number of those Brexit-related projects spanned over a number of years and had lots and lots of work streams. So that's an interesting one. Good. Thank you. By the way, any business change doesn't need to be that massive. It could be anything from, yeah, we're buying a bunch of computers, we're just moving offices from this location to that location, or we are, implementing one tiny piece of software, all the way down to we are aligning our policies and procedures to new EU regulations. And what skills do you think are required to deliver effective business change? What skills do you think are required to deliver the business change effectively? Okay, effective communication, stakeholder management. Yes. What else? What else? Data, knowledge of data analysis. Yes. What else? Planning. Yes, absolutely. I agree. What else? Okay. And one more question. Which skills do you already have? Which skills do you already have? Which skills do you already have that will help deliver the business change effectively? So I can see effective planning, I can see stakeholder management, I can see communication skills, I can see data, I can see effective stakeholder management, I can see some people are sending it to me directly rather than to the group. I can see strategic planning, I can see process modeling, knowledge of the business, I can see knowledge of finance. So which skills do you already have that will be useful in delivering business change effectively? Which skills do you already have? This is kind of where I start to talk about transferable skills. Transferable skills are simply skills that you already have that you can bring into your life as a BA. Lots of people assume that business analysis is about technology, is about IT, and they shy away from business analysis because they think they have to start the career from scratch as a newbie, and they don't have anything else to bring to the table. So I'm trying to help you identify the skills you already have that's effective as you begin a transition into business analysis. So your communication skills, absolutely. Your planning skills, absolutely. Your reporting analysis, your change management, stakeholder management, all of those, absolutely. All of those are all useful and critical, and probably more important than any sort of technical skills BAs tend to have. So I'll talk about the skills that we need as business analysts, and then you can then tell me which ones you already have from that point on. So what is business analysis? So why business analysis? So every organization, the world is becoming a very volatile, very complex, very technology-driven world, as you know. And business analysis is absolutely critical and essential for every organization going through any kind of digital transformation, whether it's implementing a tiny piece of technology or enterprise-wide or doing anything that has to do with technology, business analysis is absolutely critical to it. Most organizations fail when it comes to delivering projects and programs. Most organizations do it badly, and most organizations don't get the value that they expected to get from it. So what the BA does, what the BA brings to the table is they help ensure that the waste is minimized. They help ensure that the solutions are effective, the ones that are chosen are the right one. They help ensure that the communication is clear. They help ensure that the organization is continually reviewing what it's doing in line with what it's meant to be doing. And business analysts and business analysis work in a variety of different delivery approaches, whether it's in an agile environment or in a non-agile traditional project management or project delivery environment. Business analysts are able to support any of those kinds of approaches. So essentially, business analysis ensures that your digital transformation goals are realized, in the sense that if you're trying to achieve X, the role of the BA is to ensure that you achieve X. So we are essentially an advisory role. The role of a business analyst is the role of an advisor. So business analyst is the business analyst role is an advisory role, which has the responsibility for, meaning this is what we do. We're responsible for investigating. Sorry, my pen is a bit funny today. It's not pointing in the right direction. We're responsible for investigating and analyzing the business situation, and then identifying and evaluating the options for improving the business system. What do we mean by the business system? What do we mean by the business system? The business system comprises of 4 components. It comprises of the people within the business, the organization structure and culture, organization. It comprises of the processes used to deliver goods or services to the customers. Processes, part of my process is spelling, and information and technology. So those are the component parts of a business system. So the role of a business analyst is to identify and evaluating options, identifying and evaluating options to ensure that the business system is improved, right? So it's not just to evaluate and identify options to ensure that the information and technology is improved. No, the entire business system is improved, including the process, the people, the structure, the culture, the information, the data, the technology, holistically. So we're responsible for investigating and analyzing the business situation and for identifying and evaluating the options for improving the business systems. What it doesn't say is we're responsible for delivering the solution. No, we're responsible for evaluating the options to solve the problems the business is facing. We're also responsible for elaborating and defining requirements. So once a solution has been identified, so we evaluate those options, the business chooses a particular solution, and then for that one solution, we will then be responsible for elaborating and defining the requirements and ensuring that the implementation is effective and it's in line with the needs of the business. This is the part that most people don't really realize, or most people take for granted when it comes to the role of the BA. So everything we do, once we identify those options, we evaluate those options, and then we elaborate the requirements, and we ensure that whatever is implemented is what's meant to solve the business problems. So everything we do is ensuring that we're aligning to the goals or to the needs of the business. So let's say, for example, an organization is a property management service. They have a number of properties. They're in effect landlords, and they've discovered that they have a lot of customers who are complaining about the quality of the homes that they're living in. Now, the role of the BA is to sort of do the research, because when we say we are responsible for investigating and analyzing the business situation, what we mean is we do the research, we go out into the business and we find out what's happening. So we investigate and analyze the business situation. We find out what's happening. We might decide, let's speak to the customers who are complaining. Let's find out why they're complaining. And then we identify and evaluate the options for improving the business system. So we go, okay, so in order to, maybe we discover that they're complaining because the properties they're living in isn't being kept up to date. The requests for fixing broken stuff is taking too long. So we have to now go down to the request. So why is that? Why are these requests taking so long? So we go into the business, we ask the call center operatives, what's happening? Why are we not responding to the customer's request to fix their property? And then we look at the IT systems, and then we figure out what the processes are for handling those requests, to getting somebody out to go fix it, to then sort of communicating with the customer that it's been fixed or something else needs to be done. So we do all that research, figure out what's happening within the business, right? We look at the systems, we look at the processes, we look at the people, we look at the way the organization works, and then we go, okay, here are a number of things we can do to fix it. We've discovered that the system we're using is losing a lot of data. The requests are not getting to the right place. Maybe the customers don't get to see when an appointment has been booked. Maybe the customers don't get to get a reminder when an appointment has been booked. So they miss the first appointment and then we don't follow up. That's why it's taking long. Now we understand what the problems are. Now we can identify a number of options. Okay, option one, do we implement a new system? Option two, do we train our people to follow up on their appointments, for example? And then once we settle on one option, let's say we choose the option of implementing a new appointment booking system, then we start to gather requirements for that. And we have to make sure the new appointment booking system solves the problem of the customers complaining because the repairs are taking too long. Does that make sense? So it's not just a case of we are glorified note takers. I always say to people who come to my classes that as BAs, we're not glorified note takers. Your job is not just there to write down what people say. Your job is to ensure that business problems are solved with the solution that's being implemented. So whatever is implemented is in line with the needs of the business. So far, does that make sense to you in terms of our role as BAs? Just type into the chat, yes, no, explain again, please. Yes, I guess myself and Jillian are here. Who else is here? Does that make sense? Did my example resonate with you? Did you understand it? Yep, thanks, Gay. Yeah, all right. Thanks, Ben. Good. So, one of the things that's really, that I hear a lot is a number of myths. I call them myths. Number of myths around business analysis role. I hear a lot of people say business analysts are only meant for IT projects, that business analysts are needed only after a project kicks off, that business analysts only gather requirements for a project, that you have to be a BA to do business analysis, or you have to be a techie to be a BA or do business. Well, I can tell you from first-hand experience that none of Okay, it looks like I got kicked out for a second. Can you guys hear me okay now? Can you hear me? Just say yes in the chat. All right, perfect, thank you. So I was saying, business analysts meant for only IT projects, not particularly true, but there's some elements that could be considered perhaps. Anytime an organization is implementing some kind of technology, right? I call them IT enabled projects. As long as you've got people involved and you've got technology involved, you probably need business analysis. You probably need either a business analyst or someone with business analysis skills. So think of the BA as the interpreter between business and IT. Most times when there's an IT-enabled project being implemented, the information that goes between the business person and the IT person is usually, for want of a better word, misunderstood. So one of the things that a BA does is we bring in clarity to the project. So usually we would work in spaces where there's some kind of technology being implemented. However, I've done a number of projects that had no technology involvement at all. It's just pure process improvement work, independence of the technology. But we always have at the back of our mind the aim of using technology to improve an organization's business process and so on. So even though it might not have any technology involved at the beginning, we'll lean towards bringing in some technology, right? So it's not just meant for IT projects, it's meant for non-IT projects as well, but we usually would lean towards bringing technology in to an organization, into a project. So there's some elements of truth to that, but it's not entirely true. The next one, business analysts are needed only after a project kicks off. Well, in my previous slide, I talked about the role of a business analyst being an advisory role, where we investigate the business situation, where we do the research, where we try to evaluate the options. That's all before a project kicks off, right? Sometimes you might, call it part of a project. You might call it a phase within a project or a program, but typically you need a BA before you decide to implement a project. You need a BA to figure out whether you should even be doing this project or not, to figure out whether this is the right thing to do or not. So I have been involved in a number of projects where we started before the project kicked off. So BAs are not only needed after a project kicks off. BAs are needed from way before we even think of a project kicking off. So that's absolutely a myth, and that is absolutely not true. Some people would argue, though, that it's a project, even if the main part of the project is not being kicked off yet. You can say, oh yeah, we would initiate, even the discovery part of the project is still a project. Some people will argue that as long as it's the piece of work that has a start and an end, it's a project. Some people will argue that our research work is a project. Well, if that's the line of argument, then okay, but it's not after the project kicks off that we need it, it's before the project kicks off. So somebody needs to define the scope of the project, and we will do that as well. So either way, totally untrue, that's debunked. The next one, BAs only gather requirements for a project. Well, as I've already talked about, we don't just gather requirements. I always say we are not glorified note takers. We do more than gather requirements. The requirements are really a means to an end. The solution being what the business needs is essentially the proof of the work that we do. The communication, the stakeholder management, the process modeling, all of the stuff that ensures that the solution is the right solution for the business is essentially what we do. And gathering requirements is not the only thing we do. Some people might argue, though, that requirements are not just user stories and acceptance criteria. Requirements can be anything the business needs in order to get a project off the ground, which could be the non-functional, the functional, the non-functional, the general requirements as well. So some people could argue everything that we write down is a requirement. I will beg to differ, but I think that's totally untrue. And some people say you have to be a BA to do business analysis. Well, no, you don't. In lots of different projects or lots of different project methods, the role of a BA may not exist. So for example, you might work in an agile project where you're using Scrum, and we have a Scrum Master, you have a product owner, you have a development team who might decide to drop their titles and just be part of a team, and you might not be wearing the hat or the job title BA, but maybe as a product owner, you're doing a lot of BA work. You're doing a lot of BA work. You're prioritizing the backlog, which are the requirements. You are organizing, you're justifying, you're prototyping, all of that stuff, that's BA work as well. So you don't have to be a business analyst to do business analysis work. You might be a resource manager. You're doing lots of analysis. You're doing lots of options analysis. You're doing BA work. You're not a BA. You might be a HR manager. You might be implementing some kind of new software into your HR department. You might be rewriting your HR processes, your joiners, movers, leavers processes. You might be rewriting all of that stuff. You're doing BA work. You're not a BA. You might be a project manager. As a project manager, you probably do a lot of BA work without being a BA. So you don't have to be a BA to do business analysis work. For me, the important thing is to have the skills. That way you can move across job titles. You can learn business analysis and you can decide, okay, I'm going to be a Scrum Master, I'm going to be a product owner, I'm going to be a whatever, you can be all sorts of different kinds of roles you can get into from learning or having business analysis skills. And this one is the one that people tend to get scared of, that you have to be a techie to be a BA. Well, I will say this is not entirely true, but by being a BA, you might eventually find yourself being a techie. But you do not have to be a techie to be a business analyst. What do I mean by that? So for me right now, I don't consider myself a techie at all. Some people think I'm a techie, but I'm not really. But some people will say, you need to understand how technology works. You need to be a technology professional to be a business analyst. No, you need to be a business professional to be a business analyst. From everything you do should be from the perspective of the business, not from the perspective of the technology. What you need to have is the ability to research, learn, understand, present information so that a business can make whatever kind of decisions they need to make. So if you are investigating an IT system, well, you need to go research that IT system and understand how that works, right? You might, by default or in the process of doing the work of a BA, you might end up getting to learn about technology. Of course, you will end up learning about technology, because if you're helping to implement some kind of technology, you will get to learn about that technology, but you don't need to know that technology before you become a BA. Your job as a BA is to understand the business, analyze the business needs, write the requirements that the business wants, map the processes of the business. When you begin to work on the solution with the technology team, your job is more of an advice. It's always an advisory role, but your job is there to help them answer questions. They will ask you, do you think this will work or that would work? Do you think the business will need this or need that? But if you know how to ask questions, then the techies will answer techie questions, you will answer business questions. You might need to write your requirements in a way that the techies will understand. It doesn't mean you're a techie, it just means you're a good communicator. So you do not have to be a techie to be a business analyst. But by virtue of being a business analyst, you will be a techie whisperer. You'll be able to speak with techies and understand techies and provide information to techies in the way that will help them deliver the right solution for the business. How does that sound to you guys? How does that sound to you? Does that make sense? Yeah, good, good. Perfect. All right, good. So what are some of the principles of business analysis? And I think it's really important to have clarity here. One of the myths that I hear a lot as well is that we don't need business analysts because we are doing agile. I hear that a lot. And I think what people got confused about is when they say agile, what they really meant was Scrum. And in Scrum, there are only 3 roles, and BA is not one of them. But the role is split across the individuals. The role of the work that the BA does is split across the team, the Scrum Master, and the product owner. So whoever chooses to do, but the work is still there. Business analysis is still business analysis. And like I said earlier, you do not have to be a BA to do BA work. So if you think about it from that perspective, business analysis does not conflict with agile. For what it actually, in my opinion, complements agile. So agile principles, generically speaking, are very much about helping businesses deliver business change in a way that delivers value for the business in a more customer-centric way. So the concept of agile is to be able to deliver change flexibly. So agile is really about flexible working as opposed to a prescribed, predefined way of working. So the reason agile became really popular is because it's got the human element to it. People change their mind. People are unclear about what they want. People don't know what they want until they see something. So when you work in an agile way, it allows that sort of constant feedback loop when you're delivering products and services for customers. So some of the key principles of agile is the concept of collaborative working across business and technology. So business people and technology people working together to deliver products and services to customers. Prioritize requirements. If you work in an agile environment, you might have heard of the term a backlog. A backlog is where we put all the stuff that we need to work on. And the backlog is constantly prioritized. And the thing that we're going to work on is right at the top of the backlog. Time box iterations. We fix the concept of time. We make sure we get something done within the time, that we've got. We try not to do everything, because not everything is ever going to be needed. A lot of waste happens where somebody requests a feature of an IT system and the feature is barely ever used. So we focus on the most important things. So we work on the thing that we can deliver within the time that we've got. That's the most important thing for the business. We empower teams, we work fast, we continually develop, continually improve, continually test, and we continually learn. That's the agile philosophy. The holistic business analysis approach I've already sort of started talking about is the puppet model. We talked about the 4 views of a business system, where we've got people, process, organization, technology, and information. People, organization, process, information, and technology. So the concept of following a puppet model ensures that we're not just looking at the technology, we're looking at what is needed holistically to deliver value to the business. So we're looking at entire business improvement rather than just solution or technology improvement. So we actually complement each other. Some of the basic principles of business analysis is that as a BA, we are focused on root causes and not symptoms of problems. What do I mean by that? So, you know, the example that I gave earlier, where I said, you're a property management company, your customers are complaining that repairs are not being done on time and quickly. And your job as a BA is to go figure out, okay, what would we do to solve that problem? Now, as a business analyst, you need to make sure you don't just solve for the symptom. You solve for the root cause of the problem. So when you go do your research, you need to ensure that you understand why customers are complaining rather than solve customer complaints, right? So if you're not a BA, you could very easily, and of course erroneously, go implement a complaints management system, right? Because customer complaints are going up, and you think, oh, okay, customer complaints are going up. That means there's a problem with complaints. That means the solution we implement is a complaints management system. Yeah, well, not really. You've kind of missed the point if you do that, because you can implement a beautiful complaints management system, but it wouldn't solve the problem, which is that complaints are going up. Not that complaints are not managed correctly, but complaints are going up. What you want to do is implement a solution that will reduce the number of complaints, not manage the number of complaints. So you need to dig into the root cause to find out what's causing the complaint. And then you realize, okay, customers are complaining because repairs are taking long. Okay, why are repairs taking long? Repairs are taking long because the appointments being booked are missed 50% of the time. So they have to come back for 2-3 times. Of course, it's going to take long. Okay, so the real root cause of the problem is that appointments are being missed. Why are appointments being missed? Because they're not getting reminders. Why are we not getting reminders? The system doesn't allow us to send reminders. Now we've got a solution. Now we've got options to solve the problem. So if we implement a system that that sends reminders so that we reduce the number of appointments that gets missed, thereby reducing the number of complaints, then we're doing business analysis rather than looking at the problem going, oh, complaints are going up. We have a problem with complaints. Implement a complaints management system. No matter how beautiful the complaint management system looks, how user-friendly it looks, it will not solve the problem. So we, as BAs, our job is to identify root causes and not symptoms. And because we're analysts, we always ask why. We're always asking why. It's really about why is that happening? Push the boundary. Ask why 5 times till you piss people off, till they're annoyed, and then you'll get to the answer. So it's about root causes, not symptoms. It's about the entire business improvement and not about IT system change. Again, people mistake this. People think that what we do is we write requirements for IT systems, right? It's not about the system. It doesn't matter what the system is. In fact, it may not be a system it might not be an IT system that's required to solve the problem. For example, that's an example that I used earlier about complaints going up about in a property managed services company. The solution that you reach might be, okay, let us pick up the phone and call customers every single time they've got an appointment so they don't miss it. It might not be an IT implementation. It might be a business change. It might be a new process. It might be a manual thing that we implement. It might be some training that we implement. It might not be an IT system that we implement. So for us as BAs, it's not about the system. It's not about the IT system. It's about the business improvement. So again, core principle of our work as BAs, and it's about options, not solutions. Again, we don't really care what the solution is. We don't care what the latest gadget is out there. We don't care what latest AI functionality is available. What we care is that it solves the problems, but for us as BAs, it's about providing the information to the business to enable them make the right business decision. For us, it's about the options we put on the table. What are the things we can do to solve the problem? It's not about the solution. The solution will be for the business to decide. For us, it's about being able to ensure that options are clear, they're clearly defined, they're analyzed. We understand the pros and the cons. We understand the financial and the technical feasibility. It's about the options. And of course, for us, it's about feasible contributory requirements, not answering all requests. I think that goes without saying. I always say, we're not glorified note takers. We are business analysts. And it's about the business change lifecycle, not just requirements. We already established we don't just do requirements, we do all sorts, from process to people to in organizations, culture and structure, as well as information technology. And it's about negotiation. It's not about avoidance. We always ensure that bring stakeholders together, provide options. Some will be too expensive, some will be too technically not feasible. We have that conversation and then we'll make a decision. We don't avoid the challenging issues along the way. So for us, I think it's important to note that there is no conflict between BA and Agile. Work together holistically, ensuring that the business gets what it needs ultimately. Any questions about principles of business analysis? Any questions about principles of business analysis before I move on? Okay, so what do we do as VAs? What are the things that we do, right? We have what we call a business analysis service framework. The BA service framework, excuse me, the BA service framework is simply a toolkit of work that we do, services that we provide, and there's 6 of them. There's a 7th, which is not part of the 6, which is stakeholder management, which we do regardless. But as a service, we offer these 6 services. As a profession, we offer these 6 services. Situation investigation, problem analysis. A lot of what I talked about is in this service. This is where we do our research. This is where we do our discovery. This is where we get people pissed off by asking 5 whys. What's causing the problem? We get to the root cause of the problem rather than focus on the solution. That's in itself service. Your output might be a list of recommendations, will be an analysis, a report that says, here's the problem we're facing, which will then lead to producing a business case. So we have another service where we can do feasibility assessment and business case development. So look at those options for solving a problem, and then we'll go, okay, which one of these should we go for? Options analysis can come into this category. Business case development, both financial and non-financial cases. So we do a lot of that as well. And we also work on processes. We map as-is processes, to-be processes, gap analysis to figure out the improvements needed to bridge the gap between your current process and your desired process. A lot of process improvement work BAs do as well. The one that most people think is all that we do is requirement definition, and that's requirements definition. I think that goes without saying. Of course, we do that. A lot of why we're hired is to do just that, but it's its own standalone service. Business acceptance testing, which can include things like operational readiness, risk assessment, things like that, is user acceptance testing. All of that is in this category of service. We do that as well. And of course, business change deployment. So once a solution has been chosen and the project starts, we can work with the development team to ensure the change is deployed effectively, including providing training, support, and all of that, providing processes for training. We do a whole bunch of that in that service as well. So The work that we do can be split up into 6 key services. For us as BAs, we want to be proficient across the board. We want to be proficient across the board, but you may start with 1 or 2. So I would always suggest as a BA, understand process, understand requirements and understand stakeholder management. There are 3 things I will say as a BA you need to understand to get started as a business analyst. I always say you need to understand requirements, from eliciting requirements to analyzing requirements to validating requirements, documenting requirements, and managing changing requirements. You also need to understand business process improvements, mapping as-is processes and to-be processes and doing gap analysis. Those 2 services are absolutely critical for a BA to have in the toolkits to get started as a BA. And of course, we have an auxiliary service called stakeholder management. You've also got to be good with people. You've also got to be good with managing stakeholder needs and managing communications across stakeholder groups. So those 3, I'll say, minimum you need to get started. The others you would learn as you develop. It's usually a senior business analyst that will do a business case if they're doing it independently. There'll be a more experienced BA that's sort of producing the reports after some problem analysis, some discovery work. So some of those things you'll pick up as you go along. But to get started, you got to be comfortable with your requirements, got to be comfortable with your process, and you've got to be good with your stakeholders. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay, so once I finish this topic, that will bring us to the end of the teach part of the of today, and then I'll go into our programs. So very briefly, what are the competencies that a business analyst must have? We have 3 categories. The first one, professional techniques. These are tools and techniques that you would learn in the classroom. For example, your project management, your process modeling, your requirements engineering, your data modeling, right? Your stakeholder management. Those professional techniques you'll learn in the classroom. I'll say that's probably about 20% of the skills that you need. In my opinion, no empirical data to back that up. And then business knowledge. This is your domain knowledge, your subject matter expertise, your business knowledge, your knowledge of supplier management, your knowledge of architecture, your general principles of IT business knowledge. So business knowledge, generically, again, I'll say another, 10 to 20% of your skills. With these, you adopt as you grow. If you already have experience in a particular domain, that's something that you can leverage. If you already have some kind of subject matter expertise, that's already something you can leverage. For example, you're a nurse, you're a HR professional, you've got domain knowledge, you've got subject matter expertise, you can leverage that already. Okay, so that will come from experience. And then your personal qualities. These are your communication skills, your knowledge of dealing with difficult people, your ability to influence, your ability to lead, your ability to relate to different kinds of people, your political awareness, your mindset, your belief, your confidence. These are your personal qualities. I'll say successful BAs, to be successful, this is probably where most of your skill and your success will come from. So the best BAs are not the ones that are amazing at writing the best requirements, but they're the ones that are amazing at the soft skills, the personal qualities, the communicating clearly, the communicating with people. Those are the best BAs out there. And again, you can adopt this over time. You can learn this independently. You can improve by self-reflecting, and your personal development work needs to be in line with your professional development learning. So in as much as when you come to our classes, you will learn a lot of professional techniques. We'll try to kind of sort of impact on some of the other areas as well. But as you can see, 80% of your success will come from what you already bring to the table. Now, these professional techniques are kind of like think of them as a cherry on top, but they are really critical cherry, because without your professional techniques, no one is going to take you serious as a business analyst to even get in to have that conversation. But understanding and having some techniques in your toolkit and having really good, strong personal qualities, some level of business knowledge, you are able to transition. So the question I want to ask you is, what transferable skills do you already have across personal qualities and business knowledge that can aid your transition into business analysis? What transferable skills do you already have that can aid your transition into business analysis? That's not about the professional techniques. The professional techniques you learn in the classroom, but what do you already have? What business knowledge do you already have? What domain expertise do you have? What subject matter expertise do you have? What personal qualities do you have? How good are your communication skills? How good are your writing skills? How good is your confidence? How good is your belief? How good are your presentation skills? What are those things that you can bring to the table to be successful as a BA? So if you can give me 2 minutes, pop that into the chat for me as we transition into the next part of this session. So what are the transferable skills that will enable you become a successful business analyst? Pop that into the chat for me, please. Your transferable skills across personal qualities and business knowledge. What domain knowledge have you got? What subject matter knowledge have you got? What personal qualities have you got that's going to help you become a business analyst? Please put that into the chat for me, please. So whilst you're thinking of what to write, I'll tell you, before I transitioned into business analysis and learned the professional techniques, I was already doing a lot of BA work. I was already working in training and development, so I already knew how to communicate with people. So my communication skills were good. I was already good at creating presentations, so that was already good. I had knowledge of the training industry. So by default, the first technology solution that I implemented was a learning management system because I was a trainer. So I had domain knowledge of the training industry. I have subject matter expertise as a trainer. So I was essentially a user. So if you are, for example, a nurse, you already have some subject matter expertise. If I'm implementing a appointment booking system for triaging or diagnosing or triaging in a hospital, you as a nurse will be absolutely perfect for that because you've got the subject matter expertise to bring to the table. So what subject matter expertise have you got? What domain knowledge have you got? What personal qualities have you got that would enable you to be a good BA? I can't see anything in the chat. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, good. Ben says good communication skills. Absolutely fantastic. Team management, absolutely fantastic. Good. Professional team manipulation of different tools to engage effectively. Yes. Self-awareness, good. Thank you very much. Okay. So the question then becomes, is business analysis the right thing for you? Okay, says domain knowledge, financial services, good. Communication, team player, good. So the question is is BA right for you? Is business analysis right for you? So have you ever been part of a change project within an organization? If the answer is yes, you can tick. Have you ever experienced projects going wrong? Well, if you have been part of a project, I'm sure you've experienced some projects going wrong, and you can identify why it went wrong. Have you experienced communication issues at work? Have you seen projects fail? Have you got some knowledge, skills, and experience you can leverage? You've already told me what some of your transferable skills are, so I expect that's a yes. And are you committed and ready to learn the professional techniques? If the answer is yes, then I think it goes without saying that business analysis is right for you. Now, that's not to say everybody who's been in a project before is going to be a good BA. No, not necessarily. You've got to be good with the 60% of the things that I said, with communication. You've got to like people. If you prefer working with computers and non-humans than with humans, then maybe business analysis is not the right thing for you. So knowledge, liking to work with people is absolutely critical for your success as a BA. So is business analysis right for you? That's pretty much it for me. So thank you so much, ladies, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Please let me know if you have any questions. So that's the end of the teach part of the session. And if you want to stay behind to hear about our course or our courses and how you can get onto our courses, the next one is starting next weekend or next Friday, then you can stay for the next 45 minutes where I talk about what we do at Career Transitioners. So thank you very much. Is anybody staying? Just type yes. Do you want to hear about our courses? Just type into the chat yes. Thanks, Babel. See you on Friday. Thank you. Thanks, Mobalaji. Thanks, Adamiji. All right. Who else is staying to hear about our courses? Who else is staying to hear about our courses? All right, Jillian, are you staying? You don't have to. Jillian, you don't have to. You're already on it. You go prepare. You can go prepare for Friday. Go start reading. Go log into the portal. Thank you. See you on Friday. Thank you very much. Okay, so who's staying? Mobalaji is staying. Adamiji is staying. Thank you very much. Okay, Layo and Ariella, I think you don't have to stay because you're ready. You've got access to the portal already. You've got access to the materials. You can just start studying, and I'll see you on Friday. And hopefully we'll see you with a couple more people from this section. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? So for you guys that came in late, my name is Tolu Fagbala, lead trainer at Career Transitioners. Career Transitioners is an accredited training provider of business analysis. We're accredited by the BCS, the British Computer Society. We are one of only 26 organizations globally to be, across the UK rather, to be accredited to deliver the International Diploma in Business Analysis, and that's sort of all the courses within the business analysis suite. And I think if you consider the other providers of this business analysis program, if you include the big players like QA, they're huge. You can literally go QA.com, the Knowledge Academy, you might have heard of them, Global Knowledge, you might have heard of them, Empire Brand. If you go to, those are amongst the 26 that are able to deliver the BA courses through the BCS or accredited by the BCS. And we are one of those, we're in that group. And if you take away the big players like QA, Firebrand, Global Knowledge, and the Knowledge Academy, there are very few training providers who are accredited to deliver business analysis. And the reason I'm stressing that is because you will find a lot of business analysis courses online. You will find a lot of organizations saying they will teach you how to be a BA. But the question is, how many of those organizations are actually accredited by the BCS? Now, one of the unique propositions from us is that we have a unique position in the market, right? I consider the market split into two. And the reason I say that is this: I've been in the industry for quite a while, so I can see what's going on. So you've got, on the one hand, the accredited training providers of business analysis courses who focus on the certification. So QA, Global Knowledge, the Knowledge Academy, and so on, those guys focus on the certification, right? You've also got the apprenticeship training providers who focus on skills-based BA, but it's sort of government-funded, purely focused on organizations. We'll take those out of the equation. And then you've got the organizations who focus on teaching individuals how to become BAs, but offering practical skills, right? So practical skills with no certification, or certification with no practical skills. Now, the unique thing about us is that we're one of the very few who bridge the gap between both. So on the one hand, you've got the organizations who deliver certifications like QA, Global Knowledge, eCareers, all of those guys, no practical skills, no hands-on training, no skills development, no working on a project, none of that, just certification to pass the exam. And then you've got a bunch of organizations who have a very loose structure, but focus on teaching you to become a BA, but no certification. So you have to go to one of those guys to get your certification, or go sort of to some center to get your certification. But because we are accredited and we focus on skills, we can marry both. So we provide the skills-based transition program, including hands-on projects and all of that, as well as the certification as well. So you don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to go from one training provider who's going to teach you how to write user stories and then go to a big training provider who's going to give you the certification before you can start looking for work as a BA. So for us, we have the unique space of being able to, unique opportunity of being able to sort of work in that space. And not a lot of organizations are doing that. Out of the other 26 training providers who are accredited to deliver BA services, there may be 5, I think, that will attempt to do both. And I wouldn't even be able to tell you who they are and how well they're able to do either. How well they're able to do the certification side and how well they're able to do the skills side. But because I've worked in the space for a long time, understand, I've worked across industries, I've worked across sectors, different technology types, I've got an understanding of that. We also have a startup where we develop solutions for clients. So we've got opportunities to work on real projects, and I've been delivering certification training and marking exams and invigilating exams for the last 10 years as well. So because of that, we've got that sort of unique position. So the program that I want to introduce to you today is the Agile BA Fast Track program. The Agile BA Fast Track program is a 3-month immersive program that helps mid-career professionals transition into business analysis. And I'm careful about the word that I use here. It helps mid-career professionals transition. And the reason I say mid-career professionals transition is because I believe you need to have some transferable skills to be able to transition effectively. So if you've got some knowledge of a particular industry, you've worked in financial services, worked in some industry before. You're not straight out of college or you're not straight out of school. If you're straight out of college, straight out of school, maybe you need to get some work experience and then focus on trying to become a business analyst. Maybe it might be a step too far. But if you've got some knowledge of a particular industry, you've got some work experience of some sort, then, and you want to transition into a digital career, this is a perfect route for you. So it's a 3-month immersive program. The program is delivered entirely digitally. We have a Zoom classes through the weekends and through the week. In the evenings and weekends are our classes. We have practical hands-on projects from month 2 during the weekend, during the evenings and weekends as well, around your schedule, and exams as well for month 1 and month 2. I'll just kind of break those down for you real quick. So classes are delivered via Zoom. It's entirely online. It's designed to fit around your work schedule. For 1 or 2 Fridays, you might have to take the day off work. So for month 1, we'll have the classes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will expect that you take the day off on the Friday. Now, if you don't, for whatever reason, you're not able to, you'll be able to catch up with the classes online because the classes are recorded. You'll be able to catch up on the recording. But of course, I expect everybody who joins the program to be fully present during the live classes. So the classes are designed to work around your schedule. If you're working day to day, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. If you're working evenings and weekends, then that's going to be a challenge, but the classes are recorded as well. So month 1, here's how month 1 is going to look. Month 1 starts with the Foundation Certificate in Business Analysis certification course. So the course is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The first weekend of each month. So this next program is starting 2nd of June. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th will have FCBA. By the end of the month, you'll be able to sit your exam and pass your exam. So day 1, day 2, day 3 in class, and then you go away and self-study. You've got e-learning videos. You've got some support materials. You've got the slide deck. You've got sample questions to then prepare for the exam, which you will take at the end of that month. So towards the end of the month, you will schedule your exam, sit your exam. The exam will be delivered on Zoom as well. It will be accredited by the BCS. And when you're done, you'll get your certificate at the end of that month. So that's month 1. The classes, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. You will have e-learning material as well. You'll have the slide deck. You'll have sample questions to self-study after the 3-day boot camp so that you can pass your exam at the end of the month. So that's month 1. Month 1 would be, I'll say, quite intense because you would have the class Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and also during the weeks. So week 2, week 3, week 4, you will have some sessions in the evenings, like exam practice, sort of skills-based classes in the evenings to prepare you for the exam. Because I noticed that when we leave people to go self-study, they think they've got a lot of time and they don't book their exam, they don't do what they need to do. So we will support you right through the journey to the end to make sure that you get to book the exam and pass the exam by the end of that month. Okay. And so far, last year, this year, 100% pass rate, no one has failed who's taken the course. There's one person who failed who didn't take the course, did the exam only, failed first time round, did some coaching and boot camp, passed the second time round. But from everybody who's taken the course, we had a 100% pass rate. So we expect that you will pass the exam by the end of that month. Now, month 2 Agile. So Scrum is the most popular Agile method. And anybody who says they're teaching Agile, most of the time is actually Scrum. So month 2 is going to be focused on Agile. Very similar to month 1, the first weekend we'll have the training in class, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. all day for both for that weekend. And very much like month 1, by the end of month 2, you will schedule the exam and pass the exam as well. The difference between month 1 and month 2 is that halfway through month 2, we will start the projects. So our Scrum Master will bring you into a session and have a couple of projects available for you to sign up to. So I will, get you all into the room and say, okay, there are these 2 projects available. Which one would you prefer to go on? Or I'll assign you to a particular project and give you access to your Scrum Master and your product owner, and they'll tell you what they need to do. Because you would have done the Agile training and you would have done the BA training, you are certified Scrum Master, certified business analyst, you would have the knowledge to be able to work on a project, but it doesn't mean you have the skill to work on a project. So during the live project, you would acquire a whole bunch of skills as well that you will be able to use as a business analyst in the real world or as an Agile practitioner in the real world. So in month 2, halfway through, we'll start the projects, which means month 2 is usually quite intense. So you will have your weekend classes, you'll have evening classes, you'll also have your project, and you'll have e-learning to do as well. So you have to dedicate and commit quite a lot of time to the program. That's why I say it's an intensive, immersive 3-month program. So you've got your e-learning to do in your own time, maybe during your breaks at work or in the morning or late at night. You've got your evening, your weekend classes, the first weekend of each month, right through. So you've got to cancel church or something, dedicate a weekend to it. And you've got evenings where during the week, you've got sessions with your colleagues working on a project. You've got extra classes for skills, because I'm not just going to throw you into a project. I'm going to train you on what to expect within that project. So you will have project preparation classes. So you have quite a lot happening during the program. And then month 3, it's integrating all the skills and the learning that you've got. So month 3 is about critical BA tools, all the tools and software that you must know how to use. You want to start trying your hands on. So one of the things that we teach is Figma. Figma is a tool, is a design tool used for prototyping. So you have a 3-day class on Figma. It'll be in the evenings. It could be a Saturday and Sunday full day, or in the evenings, depending on what most people prefer. That's in month 3. So you have a Figma class, you have a Jira class, Azure DevOps, you have a Visio class. So the 3 key software tools that you would learn. So prototyping tool, which we train Figma, we train you to use Figma. Process modeling tool, Visio, Lucidchart, Diagrams.net, Bizagi are the tools that we recommend to learn how to develop process models. So whichever one you have will be fine. So I will switch between tools. So I might use Visio to show something, and then I'll use Lucidchart, I'll use Diagrams.net, I'll use Bizagi. I prefer Bizagi personally. I use Visio day to day. So any of those tools will be fine, but it doesn't matter which tool you use, as long as you're comfortable with one. So you can choose which tool you want to learn. And then requirements management. I'll teach you how to use Jira. I'll give you work to do on Jira. I will show you around Azure DevOps, which is the Microsoft's answer to Jira, basically. I'll show you around Azure DevOps, because when you go out into the real world, you will most likely use a requirements management tool. We don't know what that tool will be. We don't know what your organization might use. But if you're comfortable with a tool, you're able to adapt and learn whatever other tool you might find yourself using. So month 3 would be about critical BA tools, but also remember you will continue your project from month 2 into month 3. So you've got that as well. And also in month 3, we'll wrap it up with coaching, with group coaching. I'll come back to that one, with career coaching and group coaching. So you will be able to book one-on-one sessions with me right the way through. So you will have up to 3 sessions to book. You can book it once a month if you want, or you can book it all together in a particular period when you're ready to use it. So the career coaching sessions will cover preparing for interviews, developing your CV, developing your job search strategy. So it will be tailored and personalized to you. So I'm not going to give you the same information as I'm going to give somebody else when we're working on your career development path. So and the reason we kind of personalize it is because everybody's journey is different. So you might be a project manager already, right? You might be great at interviews. Well, I'm not going to waste our time talking about interviews because you already have that. We might be focused more on redesigning your LinkedIn profile to suit your new identity, right? Your CV might be perfect already. We're not going to waste our time rewriting a CV that's already good, right? But you might be a nurse. You've never had a CV before. We might spend your coaching sessions writing your CV. Very much like just recently, we had one of the people in the last batch. She was a nurse, never had a CV before. All the jobs she's ever applied for has been through online applications. So we had to create one from scratch for her and then give her feedback on how to adapt it. And then she did it, sent it back, we got it ready, and she's got one ready to go. So depending on what you need, your sessions will be tailored to suit. And of course, you know, the live project is not part of the Agile BA Fast Track program. That's why I have not included it. It's a bonus module. And the reason I say that is this: the training on its own is standalone and can be and is useful for anybody who's transitioning. You should have everything you need. However, some people might need a little bit of extra confidence. Some people might want to be able to visualize some of the things that they've learned in class. Some people might want to see a software developed live. Before the requirements were there, you writing the requirements, the developer looking at it, designing it, implementing it, developing it, and then you testing it, sort of seeing that entire life cycle. For some people, it gives them a whole lot more confidence. So for people like that, we give an opportunity to get onto a live project. And because we have a software company called LearnFlow, we're able to work on some real customer projects or software development projects with LearnFlow. Okay, so it's not part of the Agile BA Fast Track program. It is optional, and it also means we have to sign an NDA. So if you want to join the live project, I'll give you an NDA to sign because you're going to be dealing with real customers. You're going to be dealing with real customer data. So you might, or customer products. So you'll sign an NDA to say, I'm not going to disclose information that I find to a third-party competitor and all that stuff, all that good stuff. So, and then you'll be part of that project. What that also means is you're able to, if you wanted, get a reference and say, I worked on LearnFlow's project that did X, Y, Z. So you're able to get a reference, which is why I get you to sign an NDA as well. Okay, so if you are interested in the live project, absolutely, but it is not part of the program. And it's not charged as well, it's free. So that's a bonus, so to speak. And the project, though, is timed. It's going to be 6 weeks. So you have weekly sprints for 6 weeks where you write requirements, model processes, develop the solution, test it, and see it go live. So that's the program in its entirety. And the next one starts on the 2nd of June. Any questions about the Agile BA Fast Track program? Any questions Mobalaji. Any questions, Dan? Timololua, Tommy, any questions? Adimiju, any questions about the Agile Be a Fast Track program? You can type your questions into the chat if you wish. Any questions apart from how much is it? That's usual. You with me? Still. Okay. Okay, yes, with you. All right, good. Okay, so I'm guessing there are no questions about that. So that's all clear. So the next program that I want to share with you is more for experienced business analysts or people who want to go for the diploma. So this might be a side FCBA. Is there any exams, any Scrum certification? Okay, good question. I sort of glossed over it. And the reason I glossed over it is because I am transitioning from one certification to the other. So as of last batch, we were offering Scrum Study. So the Scrum certification is the Scrum Study certification, which is based on the Scrum body of knowledge. And it is, I think, one of the better ones out there. And it's a really good one for people who are getting into Agile. So we recommend Scrum Study. We align with Scrum Study for the Scrum certification, right? Now, the reason I align with Scrum Study is that Scrum Study provides a robust, solid framework that you can learn and adopt very quickly if you're new to Agile. Scrum Alliance, Scrum.org are some of the more popular certification bodies for Scrum out there, but to get certified with Scrum Alliance, Scrum.org, one, it will take a while, it's much more expensive, and you almost kind of need to be in it to get it. So it's not, in my opinion, adequate for a newbie getting into Scrum. I think the Scrum Study certification is much more useful, much more appropriate, and much more relevant to somebody who's new coming in. So that's the one we align with. The second one we align with is the BCS Agile Foundation Certificate. So the BCS Agile Foundation Certificate is also available. So you get a choice of one or the other. So if you want to do the Scrum Study, do the Scrum Study. If you want to do the BCS, do the BCS. It doesn't change the price. The BCS is more expensive for us than Scrum Study, but that's fine. So we do the Agile Foundation certificate, the BCS Foundation certificates in Agile. And I think that's, I mean, if you are in the UK, very useful because it's a BCS certification. So the class here is going to be around the Agile, but we've got e-learning for the Scrum Study. So those are the two certifications you will get on the program. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So let me go into the diploma. So the International Diploma in Business Analysis is a higher level certification in business analysis. It's a BCS certification, practitioner level, certification. To get the International Diploma in Business Analysis, you need 5 courses. To get the International Diploma in Business Analysis, you need 5 standalone courses. You need the Business Analysis Practice, course 1. This is a practitioner module, the practitioner level course. We literally just did one last week, which is really amazing. Course 2 is Modeling Business Processes, is also a practitioner level certification. And course 3, Requirements Engineering, is also a practitioner level course. You also can include Foundation Certificate in Business Analysis, which is a foundation level course. You've got a choice here, though, to do the diploma. You can do the Foundation Certificate in Business Analysis. You can do the Foundation Certificate in Business Change. You can do the Foundation Certificate in Organizational Behavior. You've got a number of options here. But, excuse me, because we already deliver the Foundation Certificate in Business Analysis as part of the Agile BA Fast Track program, a lot of people kind of make it a progression. They do the Agile BA Fast Track program, and then they transition into the diploma, and they just need 3 more courses, and then an oral exam prep, and then they do the oral exam to get the international diploma. So you have these 5 courses to do, plus an oral exam. And the oral exam is directly with the BCS, not with us. So the BCS run the oral exam themselves, but we will prepare you. So the course 5 here is the oral exam prep workshop. So you got 5 courses: BAP, MBP, RE, FCBA, and OPW, oral prep workshop. And then you're off to the BCS to do your oral exam. Each one of the courses are 3 days, run Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and we have a course each month, basically. So we literally just finished one in May. We've got Modeling Business Processes in June, Requirements Engineering in July, and so on. So we've got a course every month, basically. So that's the diploma. I recommend for people who want the higher level certifications to do this. Each one of these are standalone courses, but you can obviously take the diploma as a package as well. So one of the things that's useful is that the practitioner courses, because you will have access, it's going to be delivered virtually. All the classes are recorded. I will deliver some of them. So it could be swapping or delivering some of them. They're all sort of leading towards the exam. It's mainly exam focused. But we adapt a style that allows you bring it into the workplace. So the examples we use, the case studies we use are very much about helping you practicalize it as well. So it's not going to be a slide read fest. It's going to be more of a hands-on practical, and we kind of break it down in a way that you can learn it, adopt it, and use it at work as well. So all the courses are very much designed that way. So the MVP is about process modeling. We work on Aziz and 2B processes and process measurements as well. Again, 3 days. Requirements engineering, again, 3 days, focus on the requirements engineering framework, including eliciting requirements, analyzing requirements, documenting requirements, and managing changing requirements. And very much like the others, make it practical as well. And we use a system called LearnFlow, where you can manage all of your learning materials, e-learning course videos, class videos, case studies, assignments are all there, and you can download the materials yourself as well. So that's all good. Now, here are a couple of value-added services. And here's something that we do that I don't think anybody else in the industry does, is one, you can come onto a course as many times as you need, as long as you've paid for that course. So if you pay for FCBA as standalone, you can join any FCBA course that we've got running, as long as spaces are available. If you pay for the Agile BA Fast Track program, you can join any future classes as many times as you need, as long as there's space available and the class is running. So what tends to happen is we have somebody join the program, finish the program, get a job as a BA, then new as a BA, and then come back on the program as a kind of a refresher. So a lot of the stuff that they'd learned and they had forgotten, it comes back and they're much more able to be effective in their role as a BA. So the ability to come back is, I think, a really valuable idea. So I'm hoping we're able to do that forever and ever, but for now, that's the way we work. Of course, you'll be able to access all the classroom videos as long as you need it and as long as they're available. Sometimes technology happens, life happens, a video gets corrupted, a video gets mistakenly deleted. Somebody forgets to press play or press record and the video is not available. So as long as the video is available, and you can have it for as long as you need it, basically. So there is no, oh, you only have it for 6 weeks and that's it. You can have it for as long as you need it. So you can finish the program, become a BA, and you can use the learning resources that you've had from your training as a guide when you work as well. So you never lose access. You can download the videos, but I always say subject to terms and conditions, which means you cannot share it to anybody who is outside of a class. And this is due to data protection reasons as well. So if you are in this class and we talk about personal information, you don't want that being shared to somebody who is not privy to that conversation. That could be a breach of data. So you can download the videos for your own personal use only. You cannot share it. And of course, you can book your sessions and you can bank them for whenever you feel you're ready. So you can book your session in the month you're meant to book it, or you can save it and book it when you're ready to use it. So those are some of the things that we do that's different from most other organizations. So a couple of past successes, and there have been more past successes since these are successes from earlier this year and late last year. Mide earlier this year joined our BA program. A couple of weeks after she finished the program, got a job as a business analyst with NatWest's, very no experience of BA whatsoever, worked in a call center environment, I believe, and yeah, did the program and got a job. Kathy had some experience as a help desk support, and then did the program, got a job as a BA, and still there, growing. Angela did the same, had experience in marketing, branding kind of background, did the BA course, got a job as a BA, and is doing the course again because she was able to transition, but still growing and learning. Tolua, HR professional, did the course, got a job as a Lloyd's senior BA. Paul, no experience whatsoever, got a job in housing as a BA, now a senior BA, moving towards business architecture. So quite a lot of people and many more have been able to kind of come in with very little or no experience whatsoever, get into the role, progress, and yeah, and come back for more courses and learning and growth. So how much is it, is the question you're going to ask. So the Agile BA Fast Track program is has a fee that includes all your certifications, both your certifications, the BCS certifications and Scrum Study certifications, or 2 BCS certifications. Total fee is $1,950 for the 3 months, the coaching, the project, everything. For people paying upfront, you get a discount, 20% discount if you're paying upfront. Otherwise, if you are paying in installments, we have a finance partner called Noma that we would refer you to, and you go through the process and you're able to spread the payment over 12 months at no interest whatsoever. Think of it as an interest-free loan. You can spread the payment over 12 months. You don't need to deposit, or you can choose to pay a deposit of your choice, and yeah, and get onto that plan. However, the normal option is for UK residents only, you must have a source of regular income. You should be working, and you should have been in the country for at least 3 months. I will say more 6 months at least. And of course, you can put any of the courses, whether you're doing a standalone course or you're doing the full program or you're doing the diploma, put any of them onto the payment plan. So that's the payment plan option. The diploma, each one of the courses can be taken as a standalone. So requirements engineering can be taken as a standalone. BAP can be taken as a standalone. FCBA can be taken as a standalone. All of the courses can be taken as a standalone. If you choose to take them as a standalone, they're $690 each. If you choose to take them as a package, then $2,250. So you get a nice healthy discount there. If you're paying up front, 20% discount. If not, you do the NOMA 12-month payment plan option, and you can get that covered that way as well. So in the 3-month program, it's this foundation to the 3-month Agile BA Fast Track program. You have the foundation, not practitioner. And I recommend starting with the foundation if you're getting in. If you're already in or you've got a lot of experience, let's say you're a QA manager. So I think, Ben, you may have been a QA manager, right? You could choose, because you've got a lot of transferable skills and you've got experience of working on lots of different software development projects, you could choose to go down the practitioner route and go, do you know what? I'm just going to get the practitioner exam and go straight at that level. So that's fine. Otherwise, if you don't have a lot of transferable skills or you're not comfortable with technology-led projects, then I'll recommend the foundation. The foundation is enough to get you to get your CV filtered. One of the values and benefits of getting the certification is that it gets your CV seen. And usually organizations will say BCS certification recommended or BCS certification required. And if there's filtering CVs, they typically will filter based on people who have, the BCS certification. The foundation is generally fine to get started. And the practitioner, people generally tend to take them over a period. So you can take each of the practitioner courses as a standalone, or you can take them as a package. However, exams, if you fail an exam, you won't fail an exam. But if you do fail an exam, the resets will cost $250 per exam. But I don't expect that you will fail. But the exams are included, but they're one-time exams. If you fail, then you have to pay $250 for a reset. Any questions about payments? Any questions about payments? So we've got two payment options. One, through a finance partner over 12 months or up to 12 months. You can choose to pay it in 3 months, 5 months, 10 months, 11 months, up to you. You can choose your payment option with NOMA. You can choose to pay deposit or not, and then go down that route. Or you can pay upfront, you get a 20% discount, and we'll invoice you, do a direct transfer, and you can get started immediately. So here's our schedule at the moment. The schedule will change as time goes on. We literally just had a BAP class. We're finishing this. We finished that in the month of May. And the next class is the Foundation Certificates in Business Analysis, which is part of the Agile BA Fast Track program. That starts on the 2nd of June to the 4th of June. So you can join that as a standalone. You can join that as part of the diploma, or you can join that as part of the Agile BA Fast Track program. The second course in June is on the 9th to 11th of June, Modeling Business Processes practitioner course. You can join that as well as a standalone, or you can join that as part of the Agile BA Fast Track program. We've got a class 8th to 9th of July for Scrum Master. We got 14th to 16th July for Requirements Engineering. We've got Critical BA Tools in August. We've got Foundation Certificates in Business Analysis, another one in September. Scrum Master in October, BA Tools in November. And of course, we add courses to the schedule as time goes on. So that's our schedule as it is. Sure, you have a Nigerian audience. I do not have a Nigerian audience. Once the Black Mirror for them in Naira, I don't have that right now. Unfortunately, Ademiju, I do not have a Nigerian plan at the moment. However, I'm working on some. However, I'm working on something. The exams, unfortunately, are going to still be the exam. So the exam fees will still be the exam fees. But I am working on a Nigeria version. So this is mainly geared towards a UK audience and a UK market. So the projects that we do, the work that we do, the examples that we use, it's all focused on getting the job as a BA in the UK. So if you're coming into the UK, perfect. If you're already in the UK, perfect. But if you're looking to work as a BA in Nigeria, we're working on something. I am considering, I might have to work with I'm developing a number of products for the Nigeria market. That will be the version. But this is very much, I don't have a Nigeria price for this. To be honest, we actually did last year. We brought in a Nigeria audience, we brought in a Nigeria price, but that didn't work very well, in my opinion. I didn't feel that mixing the classes worked as well, where the challenges are very different. And by the way, I teach from wherever. Right now, I'm in Lagos. I'm in Lagos right now. So wherever I'm at, if I'm in the US, if I'm in Lagos, if I'm in Nigeria, I can teach from wherever. But in terms of the audience that are being taught, the challenges are very different. So when we have a Nigeria audience, the challenges are different, the requirements are different, the expectations are different, the volumes are different as well, and the affordability is obviously very different. So yeah, we tried to mix the classes. It didn't quite work. So we need to rethink it and have a separate program for that. But thank you very much. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, so if you would like to schedule a one-on-one session with me, i.e. you want to talk about the payment plan, you want to talk about when the next program is, can I start? If you have unique questions that are specific to you, then by all means, you can book a one-on-one session with me. And I'm going to put my calendar into the chat now, where you can have a session booked with, if that's okay with you. I'm just putting my calendar into the chat. So do I have any sessions today? Yeah, I've got one session available today, and then until Monday. So in the chat is my calendar. Please schedule a one-on-one session with me if you want to discuss this privately further, if you want to book onto a course, if you want to sign up to the next one, let me know. So you can book a session with me, or you can just send me a message right now to say, I'm interested in Agile BA, I'm interested in diploma. So if you can do that right now, that would be good. So I know how to either follow up with you, or you can book a session with me. So which course are you interested in doing? Are you interested in the diploma, or are you interested in the Agile BA fast track program? The diploma or the fast track program? Which one are you interested in? Just send me a message directly so I know that's the one you're interested in doing. Okay. Interested in the fast track. Okay, Mobology. So Mobology, can you do me a favor? Can you send me your email address and telephone number, and we can have a conversation. Thank you.
Okay.
Dan as well. Thank you. So your email address, same with you, Ben. Email address and telephone number, and reach out to you. And are you guys also, are you looking to start the next one, which is Friday, basically second, starting from the second? You're looking to start this one, or you're looking to? I expect that's the one you want to get on board with. Okay, so your email address and your telephone number, please. Just send me a message. That would be good, Ben and Mobalaji. All right, thanks very much, Ben. Okay, Ben, have we met before? You sound very familiar. Your email address looks familiar. Okay, Ben and Mobalaji, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you very much, Mobalaji. Okay. All right. So what I'll do now is Mobalaji and Ben. Let's start on Friday. Perfect. So Mobalaji and Ben, what I can do is, firstly, do you have any questions you would like me to clarify, or is it now just kind of getting you through the payment process and getting you access to the learning materials? Because if you're starting on Friday, I would want you to start learning from as soon as possible. So if you notice, some of the guys that were here earlier, they already signed up and they've already started learning. And you want to come into Friday's class with some knowledge already. So you'll have access to videos, have access to the slides, have access to some learning materials. So you want to kind of come in with, with having done some learning already. So I'll get that sent out to you. I'll send you an email shortly to get you started, to get you enrolled. Okay. Thank you so much, Mobalaji and Ben. Thank you so much as well. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for me at this point? Anybody have any questions for me? All right, you've got access to my calendar. If you do want to talk to me, you've got my email address. You've got my email address and my phone number in the chat. Please drop me a line, send me a message. I actually prefer WhatsApp messages if you're going to send me if you're going to reach out to me by phone, mainly because I'm usually in a session. I'm usually not able to, and right now I'm out of the country, so I probably won't pick up the phone, or won't be able to pick up the phone, or won't even get the phone ring if you call me directly. But if you send me a WhatsApp message, if you drop me a message, I'll definitely be able to schedule a phone conversation at the appropriate time. So drop me a message by email or by WhatsApp, most preferably, and I look to welcome you into class next week. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. It's been a pleasure chatting to you guys, and see you soon. Thank you. Have a blessed weekend. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot. See you later. Thanks, you're welcome. Thanks, Ademiji. Thanks, Demololuwa.